Hello everyone and welcome to this lecture on YAML, and in this lecture I will be covering some basics of YAML. So what is YAML? YAML stands for yet another markup language, or you can also call YAML ain't markup language. It's a human readable data serialization format, and benefits and use cases: commonly used for configuration files, data exchange between languages with different data structures, and managing, for example in our case, managing Kubernetes resources. But it's very general purpose language for data exchange as well as configuration. And YAML versus JSON versus XML. So YAML is more human readable compared to JSON and XML, and it uses indentation and minimal punctuation. So this is the basic syntax and structure. So herein, key value pairs are separated by colons. So this is a key and this is a value, and it gets separated by a colon followed by a space. And values can be strings, numbers, boolean, etc. I will be covering the data type. So this is a simple pod YAML file. So you can see key value, and this is a complex structure. We can call it a dictionary, and it has also got key value, and this is a comment. And then we have another section. So indentation. So usually for, you can have like, this is 2 spaces, you can have 4 spaces, but make sure you are, if you're using 4 spaces over here, you use 4 spaces over here. So this is a parent. For example, metadata is a parent, and it has, this is a dictionary, so this has got 2 key value pairs. So if you are using 4 spaces here, make sure you use 4 spaces here. So just be consistent. And this is structure. So spec contains containers, and containers, again, this is a like array. So this is containers contain more than one container. So this is a child of containers. So this is how the tree structure is maintained by the indentation. So indentation, you can have 2 spaces or 4 spaces, however you feel like. Child elements are indented relative to their parent. So just child elements are indented based on relative to the parent. And comments start with a hash and can be placed anywhere in the YAML file. So data types in YAML. First we have string. Strings can be enclosed in single or double quotes, or can be uncoded in certain cases. So I'll be covering all those. Numbers can be integers. Here we have integers. Floating point values. This is a floating point value without quotes. So there is no quote. So if you do a double quote, it becomes a string. If you put a double quote around this will no longer be a floating point. It will become a string. Booleans are represented by the true or false without quotes. So just remember, there is no quote required. If you put a quote, it will again become a string. And null values are represented by the null keyword without quotes. So next is YAML collections, list and maps. So first we will take list. List are created using a hyphen. So this languages is a parent. Just put a colon, go to next line, and list. So just remember list, or add an array if you prefer that. We use hyphen, so a dash followed by a space, and then the list item. Items are indented to the same level. So just make sure if you are putting it here, it's all the list items are at the same indentation. So here I have put 2 spaces, and this is also valid for list. So in this course I have put everywhere, like I use this particular, I prefer this syntax more, but the documentation is moving more and more towards this syntax. So you can just use whichever you prefer. So both are exactly the same. This is a list or an array, and same indentation. Next is we have maps. So maps are created using key value pairs separated by colons, and keys and values are indented to the same level. So this is a map, and we have got name and an age, and it should be indented because it's a child of person, and there's one map element. So this has got 2 keys and 2 values. Next we have the abbreviated form for dictionary and list in YAML. So we have already seen the standard form. This is a map and this is a list, but there is a abbreviated form. Abbreviated form for dictionary use curly braces, and key value pairs are separated by commas. So this same person, if I represent, this is a map, so just put a curly braces and key value comma, then again second key and the value and a curly braces. Abbreviated form for list uses square brackets and list items separated by commas. So same if represented like this, put a curly, put a square bracket, put the element separated by comma. While the abbreviated form can be more concise, it can also reduce readability. Just remember, it reduces readability. Consider using the standard form for better readability and maintainability. So this is just to for your information sake, but in the exam or something, if you want to use shorter format like this, you are free. All kubectl command or anything will not give any error, but this is more human readable. Next, we have complex data structures in nesting. List and maps can be nested within each other to represent more complex data structures. So this is people. So this is an array of maps. So array of maps, in this array of dictionaries we can say array of maps. So this we have people, and this, because this is at the same indentation, so this is a list, and this list is not a single like a simple string. So this is again one more object. So I have got name, like people, person details, age, then hobbies. Then hobbies is also a list of strings. So this whole is one object, and then followed by another object like this with similar structure. So combining list and maps to represent collection of objects with properties. So this is a way to actually represent and combine information together. So best practices: consistent indentation. So use consistent indentation, typically 2 spaces, to maintain readability and avoid parsing errors. Use comments to explain complex sections. So make sure to add comments to clarify complex or non-obvious parts of your YAML file. This is more for production or some real world usage. It's good to actually put comments. And keep lines short and readable. So break long lines into shorter, more manageable pieces to improve readability. And now we'll see defining strings in YAML unquoted. So first is unquoted. Unquoted strings are the simplest form of representing strings in YAML and do not require quotes. So there's no quotes around. Use unquoted strings for simple alphanumeric values without special characters. Some characters or patterns may cause issues when used in unquoted strings, such as colons, because colon is for separating, hashes because that's a comment, or starting with a hyphen because again that's a array to indicate a list. Next, defining strings in YAML single quoted. Single quoted strings are enclosed in single quotes and are ideal for strings containing special characters. Use single quoted strings when you need to include special characters or when you have string starting with a special character. To include a single quote inside a single quoted strings, use consecutive single quotes. So herein this quote is a single quote, but for this I have to put 2 single quotes. So this will be passed as quote, like a single quote, but to this single quote will become escape character for itself. Now we'll see how is the double quoted string looks like, and this is an example. Double quoted strings are enclosed in double quotes and support escape sequences. Use double quoted strings when you need to include escape sequences or special characters that require escaping. So this is again a double quote, but it needs escape character, because if you don't put a escape character, this will end with an at here if there is no escape character, and this would actually throw an error. So because I want to have escape being double quoted again within this, that's why I have to put escape character. To include a double quote inside a double quoted string, use escape character, which is I have done, followed by the double quote. And now we'll see literal and folded blocks, strings. So defining strings. So first is literal block. So literal blocks scalars use a pipe symbol. So this is also string and it uses a pipe symbol to preserve line breaks in the value. So this is a literal block scalar. Line breaks are preserved. So these 2 lines will be will be passed and stored as it is. Like this line break will be stored as it is. Next we have folded format, and we use this angle bracket. Folded block scalars uses a greater than symbol, so just it's a greater than symbol, and replaces line breaks with a single space following folding the text. So that's why it's called folded blocks. So this is a folded block scalar. Line breaks are replaced with a single space. So when we store it, it will be just space single line. These two lines will be combined together into a single line, and space will be a single space will be added here, and one line will be there, but this will be two lines. So use literal and folded blocks for multi-line strings, or when you need to preserve or fold line breaks respectively. So this depends, like if you want to preserve the line breaks, use pipe symbol. If you don't want, but for make it more readable, use this, but eventually it will be stored in as a single line. So you can have more lines also, they will be all will be saved as a single line, and this will be, if you add more lines, they will be stored multi-line. So document separators in YAML, the --3 separator is used to separate multiple YAML documents within a single file. Each document is passed independently, making it possible to include different kinds of configuration in one file. So in this file I have put config map and secret. Useful when working with multiple resources or configurations such as Kubernetes manifest or multi-document templates. And that's all. Thanks for watching.